What's going on, guys? What the flex here? Gonna be playing some StarCraft 2 today. Today I'm going to be bringing you guys one of my first placement matches that I played, and it's going to be on Metalopolis. Today's match is going to be a PvP matchup today. I'm going to be spawning in the 12 o'clock position as the blue Protoss. My opponent is going to be spawning as the red Protoss in the 6 o'clock spawn. A couple things to note about this map. It is one of the most widely accepted maps throughout the competitive scene as as balance. There's really no advantage for any particular race compared to any particular race. The only thing I could really see as an advantage for any particular race compared, in any kind of matchup would be Zerg, and that's only if you really spawn in positions such as this, or say I had spawned somewhere over here. What it would allow the Zerg player to do, assuming he's spawning here at the red, he would just be able to expand all the way around the map, here, 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 and then take his gold even if he wanted to. So that's probably the only advantage that is even relatively warranted in this this map, and it's obviously not going to come into play. So there's nothing to worry about there. So really, the better players should be winning here. Some other things to note, I'm just going to go over a couple updates while we're doing this early game because there's really nothing to talk about. Since this game did just come out, I'm going to be doing a lot of casts on it coming up here in the next couple of weeks or so. So if you subscribe for Modern Warfare 2, it might be on the back burner just a little bit, but it will definitely still be there. Wow, I cannot speak tonight. It will still be there. I have probably about 10, 15 games that are sitting on my hard drive. I just need to commentate over them, and those will still be out. So don't fret. If that's what you subscribed for, you will still get your money's worth. So don't freak out. But hopefully you guys will watch this and give it a chance, and maybe you'll like it. You never know. I'm definitely not that well versed in this game just yet, so you'll probably find greater joy in listening to some other shoutcasters, but whatever. I'm going to go ahead and just keep on doing it because I have fun doing it, and that's kind of what matters. And getting back into the game here a little bit, I've already got my gateway out, and pumping out a zealot here because I've noticed early on in this game that a lot of people like to do really cheesy gameplays where they'll bring out their first probe or something, or first SCV, and they'll just place unit producing buildings right outside your spawn and just start lighting you up, and they'll just keep pumping stuff in there until you just get whittled away, or at least you're confined to where they can make a extreme economic advantage in their favor, and it'll cripple you. So even though Protoss really, especially since we are, far spawns, I really don't have to worry about the rush too much, but I do like getting the first zealot anyways, and getting the first zealot, I can just put him right here, put him in hold position, and it creates a wall-in effect. And he sent his probe over here, and I really don't like to let probes get away, because obviously Protoss have the magical power of Warp Gate, and if he was smart, he probably would have set up a pylon somewhere in the middle here, and he probably could have been able to reinforce his army whenever he decides to move out very quickly. But you'll notice that in the middle of the map right here, I've got mine already set up, but this is a little bad placement because this El Naga watchtower will easily see that, and you'll see that come into play here in a little bit. I've got extractors. Whoa, I've got double assimilators going here, and so I'm definitely looking at stalkers being my main focus, and I'm usually, if you see double gas like this pretty early on, you should definitely be looking for some kind of robotics facility from your opponent. But we've got Warped Gate about 75% done, and I should probably be producing maybe another Zealot and probably another Sentry to get his energy going, and getting a robotics facility here. So pretty standard stuff. Robotics facility is pretty well timed, and Immortals will just decimate Stalkers, and seeing that he does have a couple gateways, this is a pretty good assumption by me. His assimilator is coming in just a tad bit later, but he's banking on way too many minerals at this point. He should probably throw down another gateway, and should already have a proxy pylon going, and possibly be looking at either getting a Twilight Council or a robotics facility. Taking a look at the army tab, we're pretty even right now, but he does have a little bit more valuable of units out on the field. So not too much going on there. Income's relatively even. I'm actually ahead at this point with 4 more harvesters, which is why my army count is just a tad bit less stunning, I guess would be the way to put it, but whatever. Now that I have a few forces, I've got four units that can actually attack and do damage. I'm gonna move up to my pylon and get ready to start executing my 4-gate strat here early on. And here comes 2 more gateways. Just have to transform them, and then the 4-gate is on. The robotics facility, you'll notice I'm pumping out an observer first, and that's because I did a relatively bad job of scouting, so I want to see if he's going into some kind of air units to where colossi are going to be completely worthless, and immortals won't be as effective. But getting an immortal early on in the game is never a bad idea, really, against anybody, because early tier units for almost every race are considered armor. You have Marauders for Protoss, for Terran. You have Roaches for your Zerg, and Stalkers, I believe, are considered armored. But he did indeed go for a Stargate, and I'm going to send my observer over here, but I'm going to completely miss it, really. So I'm not going to really be doing myself too many favors. And he has a pretty decent force here at this point, so. This is not looking too good for me right here, and he's got some pretty good force fields keeping me bubbled in, but he did let this stalker get away, which is wonderful. Wow, 1 life, but comes back to finish it off. So seeing that he does have a pretty sizable force, I'm going to fall back to my pylon and warp in a few more units and definitely take this to my advantage. Looking back at my base, nothing's really going on production-wise. You'll notice I do have a forge down, and I've been noticing lately that a lot of people don't get detectors out, and it's really absurd. It's making stealth units insanely way too good this early on. So I got my forge, and I set up a cannon, and it's at a really good spot. You'll notice that it can overlook anybody coming through the street here, and it will, since people have to funnel through here, ground units at least, it'll take them out. What I should be doing is probably putting down my next pylon somewhere back here and setting up a couple cannons just to protect my probes, because my army is out here, so I'm really out of position should I have to react really to anything going on. And he has his first void ray out, and it's slowly moving across the map, and I don't think he really does anything with it too early on. My observer's in place, and if you take a look at my vision, you'll notice that I pretty much can tell what's going on. I got his 4-gate going on, and he doesn't have a detector. So I already know that this is free money right here. I'm going to know what he's doing the entire game, and I can react accordingly. But as you can see, he has a Stargate tucked away over here, and I probably should have scouted this out, and probably should have been a little bit smarter about it, but oh well, what can you do? He's picking up his expansion right now, and mine's coming in right now, so I'm a little bit ahead in that regard, and that should definitely help me out. Come here a little bit later on, have a little more economic advantage going on. Pretty sizable army right now, and we're relatively even. I'm a tad bit ahead in supply, but I think I have a few more workers. No, even on workers too. So really, I should probably be pushing up, especially since I know exactly what's going on thanks to this little guy. And he's going to be moving out here, but the one thing he does have wrong here is he does not have enough zealots. He definitely needs more zealots in this composition to be taking the hits and be pushing my units back. Granted, he does have 2 sentries pretty much at full energy, which is a good amount of force fields, but you can't rely on them all the time. They aren't going to be there 100% of the time. So having a decent amount of zealots, especially because zealots can really wreck stalkers that aren't being microed correctly, is definitely a very important aspect of this game. The immortal will come into play here, and you notice I do have weapons level 1 already done, so I'm going to be ahead in that regard as well. Taking a look back at my base, notice I'm pumping out a colossi, so the colossi are coming. My robotics bay is down. I haven't quite yet gotten thermal lance going, and I should probably be doing that. Do it, Chris. What are you doing? Research it, but oh well, not doing that just yet. I definitely will be getting that. It's possibly the most important upgrade in the entire game. It takes your range from 6 to 9, which is absolutely insane. There aren't many units that have a 9 range going on. I just missed this, but he did send this Void Ray into my natural and try to kill off a few probes, but all he did was just really hit my assimilator, and I warped in 3 stalkers to go ahead and combat that. But moving back to his base a little bit, he's starting to get his natural saturated, and mine's going pretty slowly. I should definitely be producing more probes, and this has been one of my downfalls early on. If you watch some of my beta casts, you'll remember me saying that my one flaw during the beta was I produced way too many probes early on and got caught, unit crunched. But now it seems that later on into the mid game and later game macro, I don't make quite enough. And I think looking at our income, I'm definitely 7 probes behind at this point, and it's showing up right now. He's got about a 140 to 200 mineral advantage, and that's definitely not good. And he has about 120 gas advantage, so I should definitely be producing a little bit more probes here, but I'm still keeping up an army, so that's pretty good, and that's mostly because I did get this early